Hi, thanks so much for joining me. So I have a book haul from a variety of places, including quite a few thrifted books and a lot of classics. I also have some library things to show you guys, and this is The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. This is my favorite find. So pretty. I love how it has a little ribbon. I love how it has like the raw edges to the pages. So yeah, so let's get started. So I have this whole stack, including I got some DVDs too from Savers and Half Price Books. So the first items I'm going to show are from Half Price Books, and this is my favorite find. This is The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. This is a vintage copy. I love how the edges are raw. I never read this classic and I want to give it a try. It comes with a book ribbon, which I like. It actually looks like it's never been read. And yeah, so classic I look forward to trying. Okay, so the next item from Half Price Books is The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. And I also got, as a kind of, not as a set, they didn't have the exact ones, but this is Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. And yeah, so this one's illustrated. This one is a vintage copy. And this one was a newer copy. And I'm looking forward. I did read parts of this story, if not all of it, like in maybe, I don't know, like maybe middle school assigned reading or high school or college. I can't recall. But it's been so long, I just don't recall much. It's just one of those classics that a lot of people say everyone should try or read. So I'm not sure if I will like it, but I definitely want to give it a try, you guys. So, and then this is Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, like I mentioned, and it's like illustrated by Donald McKay. And oh, like has some nice color illustrations. And it also has some really nice black ink illustrations. So I'm really looking forward to trying the illustrated version. And I believe this is first and then this is the sequel. But yeah, so I definitely look forward to trying these. Okay, what's next? So next I have The Invention of Hugo Cabaret by Brian Selznick. I want to say thank you if she's watching to the Mama Librarian. She has a YouTube channel. She recommended I read this book after I showed that I bought the DVD, and I did read the book years ago. Actually, I didn't finish it years ago. I had a lot of books at the time from the library, too many, and she just reminded me to read it again because she's right. Like the illustrations are awesome. And what she mentioned, and I just kind of forgot about it, and I was like, you know what, I want to own this book. I really want to read it. It's very illustration heavy, which I love. It's a middle grade book, I believe. It's definitely in the children's section at Half Price Books. Yeah, it's a children's book, middle grade, I believe, and the movie's phenomenal. It is so great, and this was one of the cases that I actually watched the movie before. Because I haven't fully read the book, I just started it. So it will be a case where I've seen the movie first, but that's okay because I really want a chance to dive into the illustrations. And then my daughter hasn't read it, so I'd like to share it with her because she's also seen the movie but not read the book. So, and he has other work. I actually just read that he has a book that just came out. I think it's about a tree. So I know he has other works also, but that one kind of sparked my interest. So I think I will read Hugo, and then I will be looking forward to reading his new book. Okay, so what else? Okay, so I got this. I can't remember if I got this from Savers or Half Price Books, but I definitely thrifted it. It's like a thrifted book. It's Usborne Illustrated Originals Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. And this is complete and unabridged. And it's illustrated by Fiona, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, but H-S-I-E-H. And this one I actually started, and I just really was excited to read it. I really like how the font is really large. As I get older, I have trouble reading smaller font. And I really liked that about this copy. And I like how it has the color illustrations. So my daughter read this book, and she said she found it kind of hard to read because there's like animal abuse, and I've only got like a little bit in, maybe 8 chapters in, and there is, so I'm kind of having a hard time with it. So it's really tough sometimes for me to read stuff about animal abuse or things like that, or animals just even being mistreated a certain way. So I'm gonna continue though and let you guys know in one of my end of the month reading reviews. I should finish it this month in July, but yeah. So I was really happy to find this copy because we do have the paperback version, but the text is tiny. Okay, so my husband bought this for me. This was from Savers thrift store. This is Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. He knows I like Walt Whitman. He actually has a copy of this, but it's very old and vintage, and like I use a book stand holder, and sometimes the old books are very delicate, so I don't use them on those, so he wanted me to have my own copy. And this is a very nice copy to find used of a hardback of an old Barnes & Noble. I believe this is like a really older Barnes & Noble edition. I will link everything I can find for you on Amazon in the description. And if I don't find the same covers or edition, I'll link a similar one. This is Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. And it is Sterling Classics. It's illustrated, but it doesn't have a lot of illustrations. I thought it would have had more. So it has some nice, it looks like a woodcut. So I do love woodcuts. So I already have a paperback copy of this. But again, I want to kind of build my library and bookshelf. If you guys saw my last video talking about all my empty shelves, I really want to get a lot of hardbacks and illustrated versions of books if I can find. Because, number one, because of my eyes, which I just actually ordered a new pair of reading glasses. But other than my eyesight, I do just really enjoy illustrated versions. So sorry, yeah, it doesn't have a lot of illustrations, but it does. Like, they're kind of hard to find because you kind of skip over them. But yeah, okay, here's another one. So yeah, so I like that. So Great Expectations is one of my favorite books, and I'm looking forward to try Oliver Twist. Okay, so this book is actually brand new from Barnes & Noble, and this is a picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. And it's soft. It's one of those like soft, spongy, like hardback covers, and this is in paper. It's really pretty. I really like the font of the title, and it has like a really nice ribbon. I love when books come with ribbons because then you don't have to worry about a bookmark, but I like how the end pages are also, the edges are green. But yeah, so this is another classic I just never read, and I hear that the writing is really beautiful. And I read a little bit about like what it's about, like, you know, because you just hear about these classics over the years, but I didn't want to read too much. I didn't read any reviews. I just want to go into it kind of blindly and just start reading it. Yeah, so I look forward to trying this. So this is something I got from my daughter at Half Price Books. This is a book set. This is a middle grade fiction. It is by Brandon Mull. It is 5 Kingdoms collection. So she's loving Brandon Mull's series Fablehaven right now. She's like finishing it up. And this is one of his other series, so I thought she'd really enjoy this, and she wanted to read this. So it was a nice find at Half Price Books. Okay, so now I have a few things to show you guys from Savers that are DVDs. So I'm always looking for DVDs that we watch over Christmas, because I usually have to purchase them or try to find them streaming, because the month of December we try to watch a different Christmas movie every single day. And so we always watch the Christmas with the Cranks every year and the holiday. So yeah, I was really happy to find this it's like $3, and it's brand new. And then this is a modern, I call it, like, I'm talking about books, we're talking about DVDs. It's like a modern classic movie. I call it that. And then Napoleon Dynamite. This is so good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it right now. And it's also very okay for, like, I think all ages. Like, I don't know what it's rated, let's see, but I don't really care about ratings, but it's actually rated PG, and for a PG movie it's so good. I'm not too strict with my daughter. I know some people are like really strict, but it definitely doesn't have anything in it, but it's so good. I love it, and I'm glad to have a copy. Okay, and this is a movie based on a book. This is Jane Eyre, and this is the one with let's see, these actors, I'm probably gonna mess up her name, but Michael Fassbender. I think that they do really well as the book portraying the book characters. I think she makes a really good Jane Eyre, and he makes a really good Mr. Rochester. Continuing with DVDs, I have 3 more DVDs, but these are all based on books, but these are via the library. This is Anna Karenina. Hopefully I said that right. Keira Knightley and Jude Law or the main actors. And so this is one of the rare exceptions that I want to watch the DVD before I read the book, because I started the first chapter. It's a really long book, and there's a lot of characters in it, and I'm worried that I'm going to get kind of lost. And it has one of the best opening lines I ever read in any book. That really drew me in, which is, happy families are all alike. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. Wow. That is such a good opening line, and is it not so true? So, I really thought I would try the movie first, because it's such a big commitment for me to read a book that's a classic, that's that large. So I just want to try it via DVD first, and yeah, so I will give it a shot. And then this is The Secret Garden. This is, I believe, the 1997 version. I am looking forward to watching it. I tried the newer version, which I forgot what streaming service it was on. I just didn't really feel like it was true enough to the book, because The Secret Garden is one of my favorite books. So I'm really looking forward to hoping that this one is like a little bit more true to the book. And it looks really beautiful, just the cover. And then this is Sense and Sensibility, based on Jane Austen novel. And I really love Hugh Grant. I love Kate Winslet, and I like Emma Thompson too. So yeah. Okay. Continuing with the library things, I checked out quite a few classics from the library just to try like the first chapter or the first paragraph to see if I connect with the writing. And then I'll go on to try to finish at the library, or not, I'll put it on my list to start looking for at thrift stores, or, maybe I'll get it for myself eventually new. But yeah, so this is A Room with a View by Edward Morgan Forster. I think a lot of people call him Ian Forster. Okay, so this is, I think it's like about these 2 women, I think they're cousins, who are traveling together. I think they're in Italy, but they're English. And it begins, it's like Lucy is soon at war with the snobbery of her class and her own conflicting desires. So I'll just be honest, it didn't capture me from the beginning. Like, I read the first chapter, and I don't know. I'm gonna try it again. Like, I'm gonna try the second chapter before I return it to the library. But I'm just, honestly, so far, I don't want to read a classic just because it's a classic. And I usually never do that with my reading. If I don't like something or connect with it, it's like I'll just move on and find something else. So I'm not sure yet. And then this is another one, kind of the same. I don't know, I guess you want to call that one kind of like romance-ish. So this one, another one, I think it's like dealing with like romance, because I love Jane Austen and Charlotte Bronte. I usually like books about relationships. And this is The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. So I really love the cover. It's really pretty. It's an older one. And this also is dealing with like relationships and like class. And yeah, like upper class society of New York in the 1870s tells the story of a lawyer who plans to marry May Welland. Then he meets her cousin, who has fled Europe in an unhappy marriage. So again, it's a kind of like, drama with like relationships. So this one also, I tried chapter 1. It didn't draw me in either. I don't know. I'm going to continue trying it though, because you can and you can't. Sometimes like you can tell a lot by a book by the first, even sentence, paragraph, but then sometimes a book, it gets better and better, just like a movie or a TV show. So yeah, it might just get better and better, or I just might not connect with it, but I'm going to give it more of a go and continue on before I return to the library, just to kind of see. I really love first person. It's not that I don't like third person, but it's just these 2 are definitely not first person. And sometimes when there's like multiple characters, and just because like classics the way they're written, I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna keep trying that one though. I'll let you guys know definitely in my end of the month reading if I finish it. Okay, so this is another classic. This is Don Quixote by Cervantes. I'm not sure if I'm saying his last name right. So yes. So, oh, okay. So this one is over 1,000 pages and it's so short and tiny that there's no way. Like, I would need to get a bigger version if there even is. Like, I need to get like a bigger hardback version of this. This is hardback, but it's tiny. Maybe they're all like this. I don't know. But I read the first chapter and it definitely drew me in. I really am intrigued by it. And I think it's about the main character, Don Quixote, who gives himself that name, I believe. I don't think that's like his actual name, but I think he's like obsessed with being a knight. And I don't know if it becomes like this like unhealthy obsession or this like mental thing. I tried to go into all these books kind of without reading too many reviews, but I just heard of the titles. So this is, it's like the adventures in the world of 16th century Spain. Let's see. Oh, it's a satire on an outdated... Let's see. Okay, so it's like a satire, I think, on like outdated things maybe of like nobility and being like... I know there's mention that he wants to be a knight. So, superb comedy and irony. Okay. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested in giving it a try. So, this is a modern classic. This is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. This book I actually read, but I read it so long ago, I don't remember anything, and immediately I love it. I read the first chapter. It's first person, which I really, 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 really love, and it's really good. When I stepped out into the bright sunlight from the darkness of the movie house, I had only two things in my mind: Paul Newman and a ride home. I was wishing I looked like Paul Newman. He looks tough and I don't, but I guess my own looks aren't so bad. So... yeah, I'm really, really interested to read this. And it's like this one's a shorter one. So I really think it's like not even 200 pages. So I really think I could probably get through with this from the library, see how much I like it. And if I love it, I'll just buy myself a copy. Okay, so this is the only book from the library that's not a classic. It's contemporary fiction, and it is Normal People, a novel by Sally Rooney. So I already started it, and I'm almost halfway through. I'm definitely going to talk about this at the end of this month in my July book review, all the books I read in July. But it's very, very, very intense. I actually had to stop reading it. It's kind of, I don't know if I want to use the word like, it's just kind of makes me think really deep about certain things about relationships and certain things I don't like in certain people and traits that are kind of triggering for me. And the protagonist, who is Connell, and then the other protagonist, I don't know if you call them dual protagonists because it's based on kind of a relationship between the two people. But yeah, I'm going to definitely talk about it because I'm definitely going to finish it. So yeah. So I really love picture books. Even as an adult, this is the most wonderful thing in the world by Vivian French, illustrated by Angela Barrett. This is a really beautiful picture book that I just saw when I was just looking for books on my library's website. And it's all about like not being materialistic and like, I guess like loving someone for who they are, not for their money. And then it's all about this princess. It's like once upon a time, a king and a queen promised to marry their daughter to the young man who can show them the most wonderful thing in the world. Suitors arrive at the palace one after the other with elaborate gifts, but nothing feels quite right to them, to the overwhelmed majesties. It's only when a young man who isn't a suitor at all steps forward that the king and queen finally understand what's the most wonderful thing in the world. So all these guys, all these men, I guess like royalty, are trying to impress their daughter, who's like a princess, because they made a call or whatever for people to do it. Look how pretty this is. For people to do that. The illustrations are beautiful. And then the daughter has her own mind. Like, I don't want to give anything away, but she isn't motivated by money. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just going to say it's like a really beautiful story. The illustrations are gorgeous. And I think adults, and of course it's a picture book, so it's made for children, but I think a lot of different ages would like it. And I was really happy that I found it. So yeah, so that's it for my hauls today. Thank you guys so much. Thanks everyone who stuck around with me from the beginning and who subscribed and likes my videos. And welcome everyone who's new, and I hope everyone subscribes, likes, and keeps coming back to watch. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Bye. This is my dog Sully and Sid. Sully was having a nightmare. Oh, poor Sully.